Hi everybody, very happy to be here at the Festive Vegan and Plant Powered Show. We're cooking a green dish today, myself and Jason. Jason's the head chef of the Potluck Club, and I'm Luke. I'm a bit of everything.
So we're going to start by making a guacamole, and then we're going to move on to a green kimchi paste, followed by our apple and dill and celery dressing. So the whole dish is based on green vegetables that are in season right now.
Let's run through each component. You look like you got some processed jalapenos. How have they been done?
So we've smoked these over oak chips, and then we've pickled them in a rice wine vinegar pickle.
Right, okay.
So that'll give a nice smokiness to our guacamole.
And then you've obviously got ripe avocados and limes for that dish. This is the green kimchi, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what have we got in there exactly?
So the green kimchi is, we've taken a bunch of jalapenos and we've dehydrated them. We've removed the seeds, so we got this beautiful green powder, which will be part of the base. So like a normal kimchi paste, we would use the gochugaru, which is the red pepper paste. This is the green one, which we've made up here.
Yeah.
Again, we've got jalapenos, ginger, and garlic. We've got a bit of soya sauce, a bit of brown rice vinegar, and then we're going to thicken it up slightly with some glucose.
And that will give it the elasticity
nice
that you
gummy
get.
Sort of texture.
Beautiful. And then this is the dressing, isn't it? The green dressing. So
Yeah.
Talk me through that quickly.
We're going to take the apples, we're going to core them, and we're going to juice it with the celery. We're going to add a little bit of ascorbic acid to prevent it from discoloring. So instead of using lime or lemon juice to do that, I don't want to inhibit that flavor into the dressing.
Okay.
So the ascorbic acid, we use a lot less in there, and it won't flavor it, won't give it an acidic flavor.
And it gives it that vibrant green
Beautiful
color.
green color. We're going to finish that dressing off with a bunch of dill, some spring onion greens, a little bit of olive oil to emulsify, and some white soya sauce, and some burnt off sake and mirin, just to add some sweetness.
Beautiful. And then these are the kohlrabi that are beautiful in season. We're just going to slice them finely, and you just layer those slices up with the kimchi paste within the slices. Is that correct?
That's it, yeah. And then we're going to cut those up and then plate them really nicely, and then you'll see all the layers in that on the plate.
Beautiful. And then this is obviously tender stem broccoli, bright green in season.
And then garnish tray, we've got some broad beans. So beautiful broad beans, spring vegetable. We've got some split green beans. Got some sugar snaps, and then moving on to our herbs and garnish, we have some pea shoots, a little bit of purple radish, some bloomed or sprouted little lentils, and then some bloomed basil seeds.
This is hilarious, this stuff, isn't it, eh? It looks exactly like frog spawn, but it's definitely plant-based. Okay, so first off, we're going to do the jalapeno and avo puree or guacamole. I'm going to grab the avocados, and then you can process the chilies and all that, the jalapenos, and then the lime juice. During lockdown, we started working on different things, different menus, different items that we were cooking, up here. And then I thought it'd be quite nice to do a menu called Colors, which seemed like a brilliant idea at the time. And then I quickly realized that I was theming every dish around a different color, and it was becoming quite prohibitive, but what came out of it was we came up with some great components, and the one dish that stood out was this green dish.
I'm just cleaning up the seeds out of the jalapenos just so it's not overly spicy. Just going to roughly chop it, and then we're going to add that into the blender. Along with that, I'm also going to add some of these smoked and pickled jalapenos, which we make in-house. So really nice, adds a nice smoky sweet flavor from the pickle. Adds a little bit of acidity as well.
It's nice to take the fresh jalapeno and actually pickle it yourself. It's a completely different product to the pickled jalapenos that you get, from the store in the jar.
So generally, we usually pass all our purees, but this one we actually like to keep sort of
chunky,
gritty and chunky, so you kind of still pick up the pieces of jalapeno through the puree as you eat it. So it's quite...
and it gives you a little kick, eh? This whole dish gives you a little kick.
Really nice. I'm also going to add a little bit of lime zest through here.
That's again another very green flavor, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're going to use zest and juice, about 2, and then we'll just give it a taste.
There you go.
Awesome.
These things here intrigue me, these basil seeds. So what have you actually done to these?
I've actually just soaked them in water.
Yeah.
I ended up doing a bit too much the other day. I poured a little bit into a bowl and soaked it, and it just swelled up to an enormous amount of basil seeds, which I'll probably never use in my lifetime.
And they've got that little kind of water shield around them, haven't they?
Very cool.
It's big in Japan, this kind of like, this texture. They really enjoy that slightly slimy texture. There's another thing called junsai, which is a plant. It's like a river plant that has that water shield around it, and it's got
so similar to like our aloe vera.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're just going to add a little bit of seasoning, and then we're going to get this on the blender.
Yeah, anything that's green kind of has to be done every day, doesn't it?
So I think it needs a little bit more lime juice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that smokiness comes through nice, eh?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really good. So we really, really pump that hot smoke onto those jalapenos until they soften up.
But it's gentle as well. It's like, it comes through, but it's not like a raw smoke. It's like
those oak chips that we use are fantastic. They're amazing, amazing product. Awesome. I'll box this up.
Right. Let me get started on the kimchi. So we've got the powder. So basically what we did there is we seeded the jalapenos and then dehydrated them and then powdered them. And that powder is very spicy, eh? Yeah,
it's very spicy because obviously you can imagine it intensifies.
Right, I'm going to chop these fresh jalapenos. Do you want me to seed these?
So we're going to seed 6 of them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to keep 2 with the seeds in because we want a little bit of spicy note through punch there. Yeah.
So let's have a look. I've got a trick for these. I always take the top and bottom off, run down the side, and then do the same with green peppers and red peppers, and then I just roll out the inside bit. Shall I carry on with these? Do you want to get started on the ginger, Jason?
Yeah.
You got any tricks for peeling ginger?
So generally, I mean, I just take like quite a sort of thin spoon, and I'll just scrape the skin off with the tip of it, and it comes off so easily. I often find if we use a peeler, it gets caught.
And you lose some of the ginger as well.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, so efficient and so quick.
So I've got 6 seeded and 2 whole, eh?
Yeah, 6 seeded, 2 whole. On my side, I've got roughly 70 odd grams of ginger, just peeled and roughly sliced.
Yeah.
I've got 5 garlic cloves. We're going to pop that all together.
And then you've got your...
So over there, that's the Korean brown rice vinegar.
Brown rice vinegar, we'll put that in.
Yep. Then we got a bit of soy sauce.
Do you use dark soy?
Yeah. So we use a mixture of dark and white.
Right, okay.
So the white soy is sourced by one of our sort of Japanese suppliers. He brings in specialist ingredients from all over Japan. So we try use these things.
And that maintains the color, yeah.
Yeah, maintains the color and also just gives it a different layer of flavoring.
Yeah.
So glucose will actually add through once we start blending.
Right.
And then you've got the
How much of this shall I put in?
So we do usually about 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
And then we gauge it from there because it is quite potent. Nice.
Beautiful.
Cool.
All right, let's get that in the blender.
And I'm just going to add a little bit of glucose, like we said earlier, just to thicken it up slightly.
Do you think people are including more vegetables in their diet?
Yeah, I mean, the new test kitchen, the title of each dish is a vegetable. So we're basically building the dish around the different vegetables. Yeah. So that's just blending up nicely. And that is going to go in between these kohlrabi slices. So I'm going to get these sliced now. Quickly grab a Japanese mandolin. Right, the key here is to not cut your fingers, as we know. Doesn't always work. Shall I peel these, Jason?
Sorry?
Shall I peel them or are they fine like that?
We keep the skin on. It actually
Yeah.
gives it quite a nice texture, and we end up trimming it anyway, so...
Nice green colour though. I can smell those jalapenos and all the delicious ingredients that go in there.
Yeah. So obviously, generally kimchis are fermented. We don't ferment this. So
No.
ours is fresh,
You want to keep that fresh.
super fresh, bright green flavor. So we generally make this on the day and we'll use it within a day.
What other ways do you like eating kohlrabi?
Kohlrabi is nice just raw. You can make a beautiful slaw with it, like a kohlrabi and tarragon slaw. You can cook it like you would, a squash of some description. You can boil it, you can serve it peeled and boiled with butter, almost like a little baby gem type thing. But I particularly like it raw. I like that fresh flavor you get from the raw kohlrabi.
So you just want to lightly baste on the kimchi powder, just onto each layer.
And that you could just literally store in the fridge like that or vacuum pack it, right?
So, obviously, for us at the restaurant, we'll vacuum pack it. It just compresses it together, and it also helps to soak up all that flavor. So, that's generally what we're looking for, kind of layers of that green kimchi together. And then once it vacuum packs, it also softens the kohlrabi, because it can be a little bit sort of tough if it's raw. So generally you do want something acidic just to soften it up slightly.
What can you do if you don't have a vacuum packer at home?
Just like this then. Just like this, layer it up, pop it in your fridge, let it sit for a couple hours. The acidity from the vinegar should soften it up on its own. All right, so next we're going to do our apple, dill, and celery dressing.
Skin on, skin off.
Skin on, so
Yeah.
we want to keep all the green of all the vegetables. So we're going to keep skin on, so we're just going to basically core those, just take the seeds out.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to set up a juicer.
What is your favorite vegetable?
My favorite vegetable would have to be, when it's in season, the Jerusalem artichoke. I love Jerusalem artichokes. I love their earthy quality. I use them all over the menu.
So I'm going to start juicing on this side.
So the juicer is essentially taking out all the goodness from all those fruit and vegetables, and your dressing is essentially an emulsion, a simple emulsion of vegetable and fruit juice.
Exactly. Fresh fruit juice, herbs, a little bit of onion. So again,
Super healthy.
Super healthy, and these are things we do on a daily basis as well, because you'll be surprised how quickly you lose that freshness
It
of
goes
flavor.
flat. Yeah.
Extremely quickly.
Yeah.
So very important that we rotate it daily. I'm just adding a little bit of ascorbic acid into the apple and celery juice just to prevent it from discoloring.
Yeah.
You want to keep that beautiful color through there. Now we're going to set up the blender again and start our emulsion.
Okay.
So another cool little trick that we do in the restaurant to thicken up and emulsify emulsions is we use some xantham gum. So xantham gum is basically an emulsifier or thickener. You got to be very careful how you use it though. Use too much, it makes it go gluey and snotty.
Yeah.
So you can actually ruin a product quite quickly. So do your research before using it.
Yeah. If you didn't have xanthan gum, could you use mustard?
You could, yes.
But it would obviously impart like a mustardy flavor.
It'll impart flavor, which we're not trying to do. So we're trying to keep it as clean as possible.
Beautiful.
To start our emulsion, we've obviously got our apple and celery juice. We've got some fresh dill and just spring onion greens that have been washed. And then your liquids. So we start off with a little bit of white soy sauce to incorporate a saltiness. And obviously the white soy, because we don't want to put dark soy and changes the color of the dressing.
Sure.
Then in here, I've got some burnt off mirin and sake, which is essentially Asian ingredients
Fortified wine, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could probably use, if you wanted to, you could use a little bit of vermouth or something like that.
Yes, you can. I mean, there's lots of ways to do this. We just found that this is, our recipe and how it works. Yeah, it works really nicely. I think once you burn off the mirin and the sake, all that alcohol burns off, and you get a beautiful, like naturally sweet, sort of soft flavor.
Yeah.
And then finally, just some very good olive oil, just to emulsify it. All right, so we're going to start by adding our juice. Beautiful green fresh fruit juice. Going to pop in all your spring onions and dill. White soy sauce.
Mirin, sake,
burnt off. All right, so we're going to start the blending process before adding our xanthan gum because you just want to break down everything together. Then, so like I said, you literally just need like the tip of a spoon here, just to go in there.
Yeah.
Very little. As you work with it more and more, you kind of understand how much you need with, to achieve the sort of your end product. So it is something that we've played around with quite extensively, and it's super cool. I mean, it gives you such a...
Yeah, because you don't pick it up in the dressing. You don't
pick it up.
It's just an emulsified dressing. That's,
exactly. And it's a vegan product as well. Yeah. So that's the other plus side of it. Now we're just going to slowly emulsify our oil into it. You just want to slowly emulsify the oil just so it comes together. Again, the xanthan gum will help it emulsify. Together, So your outcome is this beautiful, kind of thick, almost like a green smoothie, hey?
Yeah.
Do you find that you're making more fresh sauces like that instead of your traditional heavier sauces?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We use, probably on the potluck menu, there's at least 25 to 30 different dressings, I would say, at any one time.
Yeah, easily.
Right, so we're going to attempt to plate this together, which is like historically not the safest thing to be doing, especially with sharp knives in hands. So I'm going to do the kohlrabi, you're going to do the guacamole, and then you can play around with these little garnishes.
Cool.
And then I'll do something with this.
Fantastic.
And then let's see if we can make it the sum of more than the sum of its parts. And the plating is the fun part as well. Eh? I mean, it's all fun, but the plating itself is a lot of fun. I'm going to dress these, I think, eh? I'm going to use some of that olive oil.
Just some of this. Some of that. A little bit of salt.
Yeah. Should I jump in with a couple of these little bits?
Go for it. So I got some broad beans for you here. Got some sugar snaps.
The thing is always like, when you're plating a dish, it's to know when to stop. Do you want to carry on?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go with the guacamole. So nice and soft. So I'm just going to do a nice dollop of that. We'll come with a couple garnishes here. I think maybe I'm going to go with the basil seeds on the guacamole just to
freak people out a little bit.
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
Always nice to have that element of surprise on a plate. Cool. I'm going to just pop some fresh pea shoots on there. Purple little radish shoots. And then just a couple sprouts. Cool. And then we're just going to finish off with the dressing. You want to do the honors of saucing?
Why not?
Why not?
So there you have it, your green dish, courtesy of me and Jason. We hope you enjoy cooking this at home, or not cooking it because there's no cooking.
Yeah, it's all fresh.
Making it.
Making it.
Yeah.